back here at the Hall of History. Today we're going to look at the causes of World War One. The major players at this time from the countries, you can see here for yourself. What's interesting to note, Germany, Russia, and Great Britain. These all three monarchs, kings, if you will, the Kaiser, the Tsar, and the King, were all related. Go back through the history. There was marriages for political convenience, and they were all relations to each other. In fact, most of the nobility in Europe were all related to each other in one form or another. Here's the map of the of Europe right at World War One. The German Reich, Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Ottoman Empire, Great Britain, France, and you can see these countries in the map here. Well, there were several reasons for really the beginning of World War One, and that was one of them was nationalism. The belief that national interest and national unity really is of utmost, and not to worry about international cooperation. Another problem was going on, you had many countries in the European continent in a relatively small area, and they were all vying for the same thing. They all wanted power. France and Germany, being two of the biggest countries, were also the major players, and they definitely did not like each other. Germany was a fairly young country formed in 1871, and part of the Prussian-Franco War, part of France was annexed by Germany, and so the French definitely did not like the Germans at all. Russia thought of itself as protector of all the Slavic peoples, Poland, Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, all those countries there, and the countries to the south. And so Russia thought of themselves, as Mother Russia to protect these people. The other one we looked about is imperialism. A nation needed markets and raw material outside its own borders, and again, you're looking at these countries really being many of them landlocked and very small, and there were many small wars, especially in Africa, fought over the imperial colonies. So there was no really love lost between any of the European countries at this time. Militarism, well, if you're the strongest, you can be the bully on the block, and you can use that as a tool of diplomacy. And by 1890, Germany was the strongest country on the European continent. And it's interesting to note, if you ever get a chance to read any Karl von Clausewitz, his book on war, that war is the continuation of politics by other means. And definitely all these countries wanted to use their military to expand their really their imperialism and their industrialization. One thing what ended up happening is countries formed all these treaties of assistance that would have them support one another if any of them were attacked. It really boiled down to, on the European continent, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, an old Arabic proverb. Even if you didn't like the country that you're allied with, if you two were both against somebody you didn't even like more, hey, they were your buddy. And it's interesting, these alliances that were formed in World War I would also be carried over really into World War II, and they would be called the Axis and the Allies. The spark which really kind of ignited it, and I'll let you read this on your own, but it was there ready to go off. And it was the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand and his wife. And this was done by some Serb assassins, and there was some political infighting and countries being formed. And what ended up happening was Austria-Hungary issued an ultimatum against Serbia, and that was rejected. So hey, let's go to war. You got the old nationalist pride going on. We got the military, and let's go to war over this. Well, what had happened is, if you went to war against one, essentially with the alliances, you went to war against the other countries also. Well, you had two major alliances here: Germany, the Austro-Hungary Empire, the Ottoman Empire. These were the three called the Triple Alliance. Italy originally was a part of this alliance, but really didn't stick around too long in this whole World War I. And so against this alliance you had the Triple Entente, which was Great Britain, France, and Russia. And again, these three were kind of an interesting combination in that Great Britain and France for centuries would fight, had battles against one another, wars against one another, but kind of boiled down to that whole idea: the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So you had these three teamed up against the other ones, and so all this was going on at the same time. It was mano a mano, kind of bully on the block, and it was only a matter of time for something happened, and people wanted, or countries wanted to flex their muscles. And that's where we're at on this look at history.